Are your current video projects boring and uninspired, leaving you with the feeling of being creatively burnt out and exhausted? Well, this is normally because of two things. The first is that you're currently not charging enough for your video projects, which means you can't actually invest enough time in order to create the project the way you want to. The second is that, well, you're just shooting in the wrong industry. There's probably another industry that you want to break into and start creating content for, but you just don't know how to get into it. Well, how do I know these things to be true? Because I personally went through them myself. I took 3 years to figure out how to pivot, not only to charge more money, but to also start shooting in the industries that I truly wanted to. But the truth is that it doesn't have to take 3 years, and I don't want you to have to deal with that. Solving this problem is the reason why we launched the Creative Fam Academy the way we did. We understand that buying a singular course for thousands of dollars to learn how to do one thing just isn't sustainable as a videographer, because the truth is that you might need to shoot in multiple industries in order to have a thriving, successful business, especially as the seasons change. By structuring the Creative Fam Academy the way we did, it allows us to teach guides on filmmaking, business, weddings, real estate, and heck, as we know, as social media continues to grow, we have an entire guide on shooting video on your phone. The truth is that 2024 is here, and I want you to have the best video business year you've ever had. And so that's the reason why I have a special offer for you for the Creative Fam Academy right now. I want you to check it out for yourself because I want you to blow up your business. And heck, this might be the year that you buy your dream camera or you work with your dream client. What is good, creative fam? Brandon Washington here, and welcome back to another Business Mondays. Um, can I start this show off by being a little honest? Um, Full transparency. Today's show almost didn't happen. If I tell y'all the amount of meetings and work and pre-production that I have been dealing with today, it would probably blow you away that there's even a Business Monday episode today to begin with. And truth be told, I went back and forth a lot trying to see if I was even going to be able to throw this show together. But you guys know what? It's Monday. I made the commitment. It's part of my New Year's resolution, and I almost gave up. So if you guys are like me and you have New Year's resolutions, you have goals for this year, let me be the first to say, don't give up on them just yet. Keep fighting for them, keep hustling at them, and let me be a testament that it can be hard. It can be so hard, but we're here. We woke up another day. God gave us another day to go after what we want. So let's kick today off going after what we truly want. And shout out to everyone who is here, especially because there was little to no warning for today's episode. So shout out to everyone who's rocking with us today. Will, I see you in the chat. What's up, Will? Will, I see you everywhere. And I just want to first off by saying thank you. Will, I see you over in the Creative Fam Academy. I see you in the community. I see you on Uncensored. I see you here on the channel. It is awesome to see you, dude. I really appreciate having you here. Derek, I see you as well. What's up, Creative Fam? Super happy to see you here this week. One Shot Nass, bro, seeing you multiple weeks in a row. I appreciate it. Super excited to see what you guys are aiming for here in this future, here in this new year. What are your goals? What are they looking like so far? Alista, tuning in from Jamaica. Appreciate you being here. Preston, as always. Preston, what's good, bro? Good to see you here. Super excited that you're here. Dude, I saw you just joined, I think it's Maddie's Brothers program. Can't wait to see what awesome content you start making with that. So super proud of you, man. Super excited to see you really push it this year. I know that's one of your goals. And then let's see, Anna and Andy, which I think is just Andy here right now. What's up, brother? Out of British Columbia. Did you add that to your name? Out of BC? That's crazy. So super excited that you guys are here. Mac in the building. Good to see you guys. Toronto, turning up. The Cardi method. I like that. Welcome, brother. So happy to see you guys here on this beautiful Monday. Hopefully you guys have had a productive Monday, and we are back with another afternoon stream. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best time to do these Business Mondays. I am realizing that Monday mornings, just selfishly, are a super, super busy morning for me. Like, I walked into the office with 3 calls on the schedule and like 16 items on the to-do list. And even though I wasn't on set today, it felt like I was just as busy as I was. And because tomorrow I will be on set all day, it was like, today is do or die. Like, I gotta put in the work. I gotta get the stuff done because I have to literally be on set all day tomorrow, which means there'll be no time to go through emails, no time to do pre-production, no time to do really anything else. And by the time I'm done with production, packed up, loaded out, I know I'm gonna be dead tired and there'll be nothing to do. So I'm leaning towards these Business Mondays being in the afternoon. Sound off in the chat if that is something that you guys are cool with, if you think that's going to be a good idea. I'd really love to know your thoughts there. The other thing, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Obviously today the goal is to talk about how we can actually make money while shooting video, especially now in 2025, as the video landscape has sort of changed quite a bit. But the other thing that I'd love to talk with you guys about and just sort of have an honest conversation with is over the last few weeks, we've been doing Business Monday. Shout out to you, Will. I see you in the comments. We've been doing Business Mondays, and I'll be honest with you guys, I am loving the interactions that we are having. I am loving the fact that we can go live. You guys can drop your questions, and and I want to keep doing these meetings, but I am finding that YouTube may not be the best place to continue these meetings. And the main reason why I say that is because, with YouTube, there is so much there's so much like algorithms and notifications and like all these things. Plus, there's a very real side of like a few weeks ago, I was actually talking to you guys and I was going to show you guys one of the things I built out for one of my clients. And I realized I can't leave that on like a public platform. So I've had this idea, this concept of doing maybe more of like a Zoom call, maybe a Zoom meeting where we can like I can actually show you guys like what's really happening behind the curtains without feeling like I'm putting my client's information out on blast publicly on YouTube. I know the way a lot of you guys keep up with what I'm doing is here on YouTube. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. And so I'm coming to you guys open and honestly to say like what would you guys like to do if I turned Business Monday more into like a Zoom mentorship type call, would that be a little bit better? Because also I just want to be able to ask you guys questions and sort of answer the questions that you guys have, react to your videos, give you guys feedback without the feel of this having to be a video that will live on my YouTube channel forever, which then means I sort of have to like even structure it in a way where it can be replayed later. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that. I'd really love to get you guys' feedback because you guys are the reason why I do this. You're 100% the reason why I do this, and I'm here to answer you guys' questions. So, on this Business Monday, first off, I'd love for you guys to go ahead and start sounding off with your questions in the chat. You can go ahead and start throwing your questions in there. But as I mentioned at the top of this video, today's video is all about how to make money in 2025 shooting video. And it really kind of goes back to something that I've been noticing as far as like this shift in the like creative landscape. So here's the deal. I know that let's see, is there a way to host a call for the CFA Connect or through the CFA Connect? Well, there is, and actually maybe we can talk about that in just a second. But one of the things that I noticed recently when I talked to a lot of creators is this idea of, running a video production business. Next one has more to do with what does it actually take to, build a business that makes you money. And last week we talked about picking sort of the right clients and like finding clients that actually go into the bank of, getting your, like finding clients that'll actually pay you what you need to make. So it's jobs that you want to do, clients that you want to serve, and then clients that will actually pay you what you earned. But now we need to sort of talk about like how you actually go about making the money from these videos. And I will tell you guys, in the longevity of my career, what I have found to be the most valuable thing is finding expensive solutions. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Because like when it comes to running a video production business, you want to find expensive solutions. Now, I believe that there are really two reasons why most people hire, I'm going to say three reasons. There are three reasons why most people hire a videographer. The first is they do not currently have the skills to be able to create videos on their own, right? So let's take a dentist. You go shoot a commercial for a dentist office, and the reason why they're hiring you is because nobody on staff knows how to actually shoot video. Because if they had a video guy, they would just use that person. They wouldn't hire you, right? So the first reason why somebody hires a videographer is because they don't actually have the skill set to do it. The second reason, which as far as I'm concerned is the second most important reason why somebody will hire a videographer, is because they don't have the time to do it. Now, this is like a situation, they don't have the time or the manpower. For example, like I hire videographers even though I am a videographer. So it's not a lack of skill, but it's a lack of time and availability. I can't be in two places at once, or I don't have the time to take on as many edits as I have the possibility of crafting for clients. So that's the second reason why somebody hires a videographer. The first, they don't have the skill. The second is they don't have the time to do it. But the third is actually a very unique situation. And this is where a person has a problem that needs to be solved, and they don't even know, but they believe that video is the solution to their problem. And so, what I mean by that is they are hiring, let's go back to the dentist analogy. The dentist wants more clients. That is the problem. They want clients, right? They need more people coming in the door. They think that if they put out marketing videos or if they put out Instagram reels or TikToks or run an ad on television, that that will ultimately bring in new clients. And this is sort of where, if you look at all three of those scenarios, what you're doing as a videographer is you are solving a very unique and expensive problem, depending on what it is. So, with the first one, the person doesn't have a skill set. They just want video, but they don't have the skill set to do it themselves. The problem you're solving is that you know how to shoot video. The problem with that being the solution is really anybody who can solve that problem, which is shooting video, can solve that person's problem, which means now you become in a bidding war with every videographer in town because that person's just looking for a videographer. They're not really looking for anything specific. The second one is the person doesn't have time. And in this situation, if you are working for someone who needs that time, who needs a videographer because they don't have the time to do it, you're always going to be second fiddle because they already have a person or either they already have the skill set to do it. But if they don't have the time to actually like do the video themselves, then they'll hire you out. But as soon as their work slows down, their need for you will actually slow down as well. Therefore, well, now you're back out on the street trying to look for your next gig. But the third one, where a person has a actual business related problem and they believe that video will help them solve it, this is where I find, at least for me and my business, where I have found the most success, because now you can tie something that technically has nothing to do with video, tie it to video. And when you solve that problem for a lot of businesses, this is a very valuable solution. For example, the dentist. If the person's problem is we need more clients, well, how much is the average client worth to a dentist office? Between insurance and everything else, an average client can easily be worth anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 over the course of a year, especially if they're billing for insurance. So when it comes to offering video to this person, if you offer a video to them, well, if your video only converts one new client, that one new client could be worth, as far as a lifetime value, anywhere between $5,000, $10,000 to up to $20,000 per that dentist. And then let's obviously assume that your video is good enough to bring in even more. So you see how the actual value based off of the solution becomes worth it more so to the client. And the one issue that I find with most videographers is that they are unable to speak to this value proposition. A lot of videographers think that they are solving the first two problems. The person needs video, and so therefore you think by talking about how good you are at shooting video, they're going to want to hire you. Well, that's a very limiting belief. The second is time. You say, oh, well, I can get it done in this time, or I can get the video finished this quickly, which time is a very valuable resource. But again, you're sort of at the whims of how much they will need you. Versus if you can figure out how to solve a super lucrative problem for a business, now you have a greater opportunity to find success shooting video, for those businesses. And so that's sort of the nugget that I wanted to really share with you guys today, is when it comes to how do you go about making money shooting video, I really would love to encourage you all to sort of start thinking about it from the mindset of what expensive or lucrative problems could my videos solve for potential clients, and then sort of offer them in that regard. For example, tomorrow I'm actually going to be shooting a video. We're shooting, it's 2 days, and what we're actually creating is it's sort of an admissions video for a private school. So this school's whole deal is that they are wanting to have students and families enroll their kids into those schools. And as a private school, they don't get any money from the government. So they almost make all their money based off of donations as well as these tuitions that students pay. And so, again, when it comes to thinking about that solution, when we started pitching or when I started talking to them about this video, I had never talked about the lighting or the creative or any of those things at first. Initially, the entire conversation was, okay, how many students do you guys normally have sign up? How do you normally get these students in? What is the value of getting these students in? What is the type of customer you're trying to reach to bring in some additional, obviously business for this school? And so by having these conversations and sort of talking directly to the pain point that is, we need more students in our school, it allowed me to align with them on the actual purpose of the video. And then from there, I was able to create or come up with creative for the video, but I came up with that creative with that solid idea in mind of their solution is we want more students signing up to come to our school. And how do we go about doing that? And we feel like a video is that best solution. Because the alternative is, like, let's be honest, they could have easily sent out flyers, they could have done a billboard, they could have done an open house, but they wanted to make a video because they believed a video would have a greater impact. And the purpose of this video was ultimately to get people to understand what the school was like and sort of experience a day in the life at the school, which a billboard, of an email flyer, a mailer, none of those things would have been able to give them. So the video's purpose was to do that. And in return, as they get students that sign up, it makes it much easier for them to see the ROI of that video and therefore feel the need to invest more into those videos. So that's sort of our talking point of the day. I'm super excited to open this up to Q&A. And we'll sort of talk about some of the things that I was just mentioning as far as, should we go with Zoom style setup for these things? So we'll definitely figure that out. But let's go ahead and hop into some of you guys' questions because I saw a few of them come through. So I want to kind of go back up to Will's deal really quick. Let me actually see if I can populate it there. Boom. Why is it showing up in two places? There we go. All right. Will says, is there a way to host a call through the CFA Connect? So, Will, this is actually something that I've been trying to figure out. And this has something to do with sort of the way our app is set up. It has its own live stream, but it doesn't have its own way for you guys to actually communicate. I'll tell you, I love doing live streams on YouTube and like doing uncensored, so much fun, right? But uncensored is very much like a podcast. And because I have Jarrell sort of to talk to, we kind of like do this thing. It's a little insider secret of uncensored, but we know when we ask a question live to banter with each other for 15 to 30 seconds, because we know there's a delay between when I ask a question and then when you guys hear it and then you have time to answer it. And this is another one of those reasons why I think a Zoom call would actually be so much better because it's in real time and you guys can literally be a part of the conversation in real time. Because like just now, and this is sort of that like YouTube structuring thing that I have to do. But basically, like, I know that I need to ask you guys to ask questions, and then I set up a time for me to actually like teach today's nugget, right? Which I do think is incredibly valuable and I want to help you guys out. So I make sure that I share that nugget. But then after that, I then open it up for Q&A, and because I know that's going to take you guys time to actually put the Q&A because of YouTube's delay and everything else. So is there a way to bring this to CFA Connect? I absolutely hope so. By the way, if you guys have not yet, definitely consider signing up for CFA Connect. I think you guys should definitely check it out. It's our membership. It's a CFA Connect is absolutely free. So it's a way for you to actually connect with us and sort of have a conversation. You can add your own, you can upload your own videos. It's sort of like our own little membership, our own little Facebook group kind of thing. And it's a great place to get feedback on your work. So I would strongly recommend signing up for CFA Connect, which I don't know if I have that linked in the description, but I'll grab it here in just a second. The Cardi method says, I do weekly hangouts on Zoom and my presentations I do live on YouTube, so they live after. Yeah, and that might be a good idea. Maybe we'll do some sort of Zoom hangout
with the ability to sort of broadcast it live, but like there's like a link in the description. That's sort of been my mindset. It's like maybe because you guys know I use Ecamm for pretty much all my live streaming stuff. If I can use Ecamm to do a Zoom call, but then just also broadcast that live. And actually, I think I see Doc in the chat. So Doc, Doc, we might need to hop on a call Wednesday and you need to maybe show me how we can pull that off. All right. Alista says, do you recommend Motion VFX Design Studio subscription for Final Cut Pro? So I'll tell you, I have personally signed up for it, but I haven't really used it like fully yet. So I mean, personally, like, do I recommend it? Yes, I've honestly paid for it myself. They didn't give it to me or anything like that. Like, I actually have paid for it, but I can't say like I fully endorse it yet because I haven't fully taken advantage of it. But it does have some really cool features. And I signed up before Final Cut did its last update, so that's been super helpful. One Shot says, do you spend money on ads, and how is the Houston market in commercial video production for you? I'm trying to break into the industry more. So no, I don't spend money on ads to promote my videography business. I have run ads from time to time for like events that I'm doing. So if we're like, doing like the Red event, or if, we're doing something like that's very time sensitive, I'll run ads to make sure that we just get the word out there. But as far as my business is concerned, I don't do ads. I have a pretty solid word of mouth business, which has been very good for me, and it's something that I can manage. The one time, and this is gonna sound boastful, but I don't mean it in that way because it actually turned out to be a negative thing, was I did start running ads for my business at one point, but I started getting so many leads that I couldn't actually like nourish them properly. And also like I also didn't like a lot of the leads were just trash leads, just random people reaching out who didn't even pay attention to the ad, or obviously at that time I was like running ads for my real estate business or doing like real estate videos. And then I'd have people reach out and be like, can you shoot a birthday party and stuff like that? So like, it was just like such a waste of time for a lot of the leads, that I would say if you do run ads, make sure you have sort of a sifting process to make sure that like people who are contacting you, they're contacting you for the right reasons, and that you're not wasting a time like having to sort through, like in my case, it was probably 15 crap ads for every good lead, sorry, that I got. So 15 bad leads for every one good lead. And then I had to try to sell that one lead. And then sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So I would just make sure you have a really solid sales process if you plan to do that. And then as far as like video production here in Houston, I find that there's so many businesses in Houston. It's such a diverse and big city that like there are tons of opportunity. And he says, I love my clients, but I want mid-tier companies only. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like upgrading your client list, the one thing I will tell you is just, I never believe in like firing clients because they don't pay enough, especially if I still have room to make them work. But just keep building up your client list until you get to a point to where, you sort of outgrow a client, at which point I always say, it's good to recommend that you allow that client to grow with you, which obviously means they have to, charge more. Like you have to charge more, but I don't believe in just charging more for the sake of charging more. Clients and companies should be getting more as well. So you want to make sure that, if you do have a client that is maybe on the lower tier and you start moving your way up to more higher tier clients, obviously they'll be paying more, but they should be getting more as well. And I find that most clients are understandable of that situation. All right. Israel stopped in. He said, stopped in and say hi. I wish I could stay, but currently on a shoot. Y'all have a great start to your week. Yeah, man. Appreciate you stopping in here. If you catch this on the replay. Yeah, if you're working, go work. Doc says, love hearing you flesh this out. Good insight. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been doing business for a really long time, and I've been blessed to be able to say, like, I quit my full-time job. Man, going on 9-ish years, maybe? No. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, almost coming up on 9 years, because my youngest son, wow, it's crazy. My youngest son is almost 9. And I quit right after we had him, like maybe a few months after we had him. So, yeah, it does become very important as you start running down your business, that you start really thinking about the business side of things. if you want to make money. I do believe that there is something to being a very skilled videographer, skilled director, skilled DP. Like that, absolutely crucial. But if you want to make this a career, and I'm guessing you do because you clicked on this video, which is clearly about making money, you do have to figure out the business side of things 100%. All right, Max says, which Cine lenses do you recommend for the Canon C400 and why? Thanks. So right now I'm on a huge kick for full frame zoom cinema lenses. In the commercial space, you obviously it's great to shoot primes if you can, but with all the projects that we've been doing recently, it is just one of those things where I'm like, yo, I realistically only want to be shooting on zooms. And I find that cine zooms are kind of the way to go. So my go-to rentals recently have been or not my rentals, sorry. The lenses that I've been looking to rent out next is going to be the Laowa cinema zooms. They look amazing. The quality is really good. They have 3 different tiers, so a wide, medium, and tight zooms range. And I think for the price, they're kind of the best ones to go with. I plan on renting them first, but I'm pretty sure those are going to be the next ones I buy. What's up, John? Super excited about that. Doc says, I use Motion VFX DS and it saves me a bunch of time. Yeah, Motion VFX, absolutely amazing. Dez says, what industry/niche do you suggest for beginners? Thank you, sir. Okay, so when it comes to industry beginners, the niches that I totally recommend are the ones that have tons of client base and have very little lift. And so the reason, so I have to say that because I recommend real estate a lot, and I know that like a lot of people don't necessarily want to shoot real estate. But the thing about real estate is, one, if you're in a reasonably major city, I mean, obviously I live in Houston, which I think is like the 3rd or 4th largest city in the nation. But if you live in a reasonably large city, there are normally tons of real estate agents. Also, houses are on the market constantly. So I normally recommend going with a niche that maybe is great in your location, your area, where it allows you to have tons of potential clients that you can reach out to. And you can sort of just start the process of learning of how to acquire and how to pitch these clients. Because the truth is that like that's just going to take practice. You're going to have to do it and do it and do it before you get good at it. But if there's only like 5 people in your whole industry, like let's say you're just getting started and you're like, I only want to work with billionaires in my area. There's probably not a ton of billionaires in your area. So your practice of trying to pitch them is not going to happen on a routine basis. So you want to work in a niche or an industry that works really well in your geographic area first, but then second, allows you tons of competition, whether that's pitching them on jobs, acquiring them as clients, and then actually doing the work. And the reason why I say you want something that's low lift is because you don't want something where the production costs like $6,000 to $8,000 just to do for it to be one of your first jobs. You want to do something that's fairly easy, like real estate. You really only need like maybe a $2,000 camera, a $1,000 lens, and a $500 gimbal, and like that's all you need to get started. Versus there are some productions where you have to rent like $10,000 worth of equipment just to do it, and that's really hard to manage on your first time. So I always say start off easy and then slowly work your way up. All right. Mac also commented on the Motion VFX setup. Yeah, it does glitch sometimes, but I think for the most part, it's pretty good. And then John also says I use Motion VFX and Resolve. Makes my life easier most of the time. And then One Shot, I'm dyslexic too, so you never have to apologize for being dyslexic when you're on any of my shows. There's a reason why me and Jarrell give so many people nicknames. It's because that's literally how we read it. Like, we always joke on Uncensored, there's this girl on there, and I think her name is Gertrude, but when I read it for the first time, I read Gary because I'm dyslexic. And so we just went for the 5 minutes calling her Gary before we even realized that it wasn't even a guy, that it was actually a girl. So never apologize for being dyslexic when you're around me. It's just a way of life. All right. Will says, finding a balance between filming your schedule and not doing, or filling. See, there's that dyslexia. Just kicked in, just like that. Boom. Wasn't even planned. Finding a balance between filling your schedule and not doing too much to overload yourself is key for sure. Also, when it's low periods of work, what's a good plan to circle back to past clients? So this, I think I've shared this in the past one. So if I'm sounding repetitive, sorry. But like the easiest way that I circle back to past clients is I ask them for referrals. When things get slow, I mean I've been doing this for years and I find that this works really, really well. But go back to your past clients and don't necessarily like if you feel like you had a good enough relationship with them where you want to do more work with them, then yeah, just hey, would love to work with you guys again, something along those lines. But like one thing I like to do is sort of like a little inception of saying like, hey, we're excited to bring on some new clients. We want to help some people grow this year. We have some new strategies we're looking to implement, yada, yada, yada. Do you know anybody who'd be interested in working with us and improving their business? Like in this case, I would say for 2025. And what's crazy is when you reach out to old clients for referrals, what I find is 9 times out of 10, before they even send me a referral, they will actually tell me how they want to do more and how they want to work. And so sometimes the best thing to do is to cycle back around to old clients, telling them about how much you've grown and what you want to offer, and then ask them. Don't necessarily ask for if they. This is something I learned too. Don't say, "Do you have any referrals?" or "We're open to referrals." Ask them, do they know anyone who would be interested in this thing? Because what that does is it opens them up mentally to saying, I know someone who's interested. I'm interested. So now it's not saying, do you know anybody who wants to work with me? But it's like, hey, do you know anyone who's interested? Because then that also includes them. And I find that that works really well when it comes to circling back to old clients. All right, Doc. Thank you, Doc, for answering that question for me. Rickland says, hey, Brandon, I'm a photographer who recently gotten into video over the last 2 years and love corporate video projects. What would be your best techniques for outreaching to new corporate clients? So kind of something that we were talking about earlier. Having a solution is sort of the best thing when it comes to reaching out to corporate clients. Recently I was helping one of my clients with their Instagram, and we were sort of coming up with a plan for their Instagram, and you could always just post like trendy reels and that kind of thing, right? But what I wanted to really do with this client was help them fix their Instagram and make it more of a landing page. And so what I did in their situation was I pitched literally building their Instagram into a landing page, having like their 3 pinned videos be very strategic videos that's going to help them to convert leads and actually build a bond with their audience, but then also educate their audience on the areas in which they serve, and then also tell them a little bit about who the business is. And so the reason why I say that is you want to make sure that you do have a really solid plan on what you're offering to a corporate client. Corporate clients don't want videos just for the sake of videos. They always want a video to actually do something. You want to figure out what that is, what that thing is that you solve. For me, I have solved like the problem of getting real estate clients for realtors for like the last, 10 plus years. So it's really does come down to what is the thing that you do best. And sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Like, for example, there was like a season when I was shooting real estate where I got really good at like doing listing houses, and they would help the houses to sell faster. But then there was like a season in 2021 to 2024-ish where the real estate market was so hot in Houston that houses were selling before they even hit the market. So like they didn't need that solution anymore. Like they didn't need the solution of I can help you sell your house really fast. So it was sort of a slow period for me within real estate. And I had to sort of pivot what I offered, which is when I got into a lot of the creating Instagram and social media content for real estate agents, because they didn't need me to help them sell houses faster, but they did need a social brand. And so I helped them build their social brand. That's a really great question. Alisa says, can you share a balance between full-time job and freelance video and editing? Dude, it is a grind. I wish I could tell you cause now I just do this full time. I would say that I do full-time video production and full-time YouTube. So I don't really have a traditional 9 to 5 full-time job, but even though my video production feels like that, the easiest way I would tell you to do it is schedule out everything. Schedule out all of your time. Know exactly when you're working and when you're not working. Somebody said this quote, and I don't remember who said it, but the quote basically goes, the difference between a professional creative and a non-professional creative is a non-professional works when they're inspired to work, and a professional works regardless if they're inspired or not. And that is sort of like one of the muscles as a professional creator you have to learn how to work out. It's like there are plenty of days I walk in here at my desk in my office, I'm not inspired to edit, but I got to sit down and I got to edit because this is the time block that I have to get that work done in. I have a deadline for a client, and so I have to do it when whether I'm inspired or I'm not inspired. And so I would say that, like, if you are working a full-time job and you're trying to do video production on the side, the muscle that you need to practice the most is working regardless if you feel creatively motivated to work or not, because clients will not care. And like, this is me, like, this is some of the stuff that I feel like doesn't do well on YouTube, but it's like the honest truth. Clients don't care if you are inspired or not. They paid you, they want a video, so give them the video. So this is sort of like my real advice is just to really give the client what they want when they want it. And so practice doing that now by setting a schedule for yourself and then working during those time blocks, whether you feel inspired or not. I hope that helped you. And I'm sorry if that answer was a little harsh. Doc says, yo, in Honolulu, we get $1 million plus for a 1-bedroom. So real estate here is easy money. Yeah, like depending on where you're at, bro, I mean, real estate can be lucrative if you're in the right area. RJ says, I'm guessing saying not weddings for when I was talking about, what industry should you get started in. They are a way to make money. I'll tell you that. But yeah, you better love weddings. And if you do, you should definitely go check out my boy, Justin Porter. He's a good friend of mine. Literally, I meet with him every single Monday and we sort of just talk about business. Having an accountability partner, definitely a big person, definitely a big thing you should do. But I would strongly recommend, if you like weddings, go for it. But if not, stay away. All right, let me see what other ones we have. And it sticks. You've seen it. I'm not sure what Jason is referring to, so I'm going to keep going up. No Flavor Imaging says, how would you approach pitching to a nonprofit based on your expensive problem framework? Okay. Pet peeve. I'm sorry. Like, I wish I had, like, do I have my, oh, wait, hold on. Y'all gonna hear something I've been working on. Let me see if I can do it. Sorry if that was too loud. All right, look, this is something that pisses me off. This absolutely pisses me off. Tell me if that was too loud. My bad. People think that nonprofits don't have money. That's not true, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm working for a nonprofit right now. Like, I literally have a job for a nonprofit. We start shooting on Saturday. We shoot next Wednesday and the following Wednesday. It is gosh, I hate, this is why I want to do this in a Zoom call, because I want to just be able to tell you all the numbers, but I can't say them publicly and stuff like that. Let's just say it's not a 4-digit project. You got me? So, like, nonprofits have money and they have budgets and they have problems that need solved. The problems are just different. So, for example, this one that I'm working with right now, we're doing a video for them and it's going to be shown at a fundraising gala. Gala? I don't know how they say it. One of those things. It's being held at that, right? They are going to probably raise as much as a 1-bedroom apartment in Hawaii. Let's just put it that way. So to pay us to come in and do a video for them is pennies on the value. So this is why I'm saying, don't, even though some companies will be like, oh, well, we're a nonprofit, so can you work with us? If you're going to work with them, at least get a tax write-off for it. Because that's something else you could do with the nonprofit that I learned a few years ago, is that you can bill them for a higher amount and then literally give them a discount on the production and then write off the difference. And you can actually write that off on your taxes as basically a charitable donation. So I've done that before too, if you need to work with them on price a little bit. But do not expect these don't go into the mindset of saying nonprofit means they don't make profit. therefore there's no money. No, no, no. It just means that at the end of the year, their blind item needs to say 0. But if they bring in $1 million, they just need to go spend $1 million. But they still brought in $1 million and they got to figure out how to spend it. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely it's not the same. It's not the same. And sorry if that air horn was too loud. I'll catch up with that in a second. All right. Preston says that's solid advice. The hardest part is just having fun with YouTube and actually being a content creator. The hardest part I found is having fun on YouTube. If you're not having fun, bro, take a break. Seriously, just take a break. Take a break and tell yourself when you'll come back. And what I have found is that you will come back with an even greater love for it. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, Uncensored was 52 weeks last year of nonstop episodes every single Friday. It was good, but I was starting to feel a little tired and I wanted to make some changes. So we decided to take a break for January. And after that break, I was like itching to come back to Uncensored. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend that you take a break. And then Preston says, I've worked with nonprofits a ton. Nonprofits won't tell their stories more than want to tell their stories more than sell products. Show them you can tell their stories and get them their donors to help their mission. That's it. That's really it. Like, it's nonprofits, they do want to tell their story because they know that telling stories ultimately is what brings the donors in. You appeal to those donors' heartstrings, and then they'll be willing to donate money. So, yeah, that's definitely been something that has worked really well for me. So yeah, so I think I hit everybody's question. Look at that. Boom, look at us go. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, definitely put those down in there. No Flavored says, I worked with a few, I made good money. I want to work with more because of that. LOL. So wanted to pitch more. Yeah. So I would just go find the ones that, I would go find the ones that are constantly seeing growth and pitch those who, pitch those same problems. Like, if it's about raising money or if it's about raising awareness, or maybe it is about pitching, those stories that, like, if you see like a unique story that will help, that gets their message out further. I have found that does help a lot when it comes to the nonprofits, is that, like, you should definitely hit them up about telling their stories, kind of like what Preston was saying. But, like, the more connected you are to the story, I have found that helps. Like, you need to fully understand the nonprofit. Like, there was a job not too long ago that I did, and it was for a nonprofit, but it was for this what were they called? They were called Heaven Instead, and basically they helped with, like, NICU babies. Now, I'm a father of 2. I've got 2 boys. And when we originally hopped on the phone, they were telling me a little bit about what they do. Honestly, it hit my heartstrings a lot because obviously I've got 2 kids of my own. And so, like, we spent most of the time talking about some of the stuff of, like, just like what the feeling of these families were. And then then they let me know, like, their goal was to sort of raise money to basically support these things. So it was like the initiative. We had to, tell people what was going on and get the word out. So I would strongly recommend, like, really lean into those stories as much as you can, and then see if, when you're talking to them, as far as the pitch goes, how these videos could help them raise money for their nonprofit. And at that point, I think you could I think you could find some really good success in finding some of these new potential clients. All right. So that's sort of been my approach, and I find that helps out a lot. Now, I do have a question for you guys, if you guys are cool with it. At the beginning of this call, I sort of started off talking about the idea of switching these Business Mondays to more of a Zoom call setup. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in doing. Will also had mentioned possibly trying to bring them into the Creative Fam Connect, which, if you guys have not signed up for that, actually, let me go ahead and grab that. I'm going to throw that into the chat really quick. So we have what's called the Creative Fam Connect. And so it's our free membership platform. It just allows you to be able to communicate with us. And we really enjoy it because it allows us to have, like, sort of a little community outside of YouTube. And you can upload your own videos there. You can, sort of ask for feedback. I actually really love seeing you guys hang out in there. I've seen you guys, like I've seen Preston in there. I've seen Will in there. So let me see. Let me grab this. Perfect. So I just put the link to the CFA Connect into the chat. So if you haven't signed up for CFA Connect, definitely consider signing up because it's sort of the way that we have conversation when we're not live on YouTube. But I've been thinking about basically adding the Zoom link in there so that way we can we could have these conversations and in real time because like it's like right now there's like this crazy delay the entire time, which I feel like is just not the same. Also, there's like, man, there's just certain parts of my business that I really would love to share with you guys. So I feel like it'd be more helpful because I could actually show it to you, but I don't want to leave it public, as you guys probably can imagine. Like I have clients, like in fact, the one of the clients I was telling you guys about, that I'm shooting with really soon, they actually found me through YouTube, so I know they're familiar with my YouTube channel. So I can't put everything out there. It's becoming not a problem, but it's making things more challenging. Like the other day, I had a client reach out and they were asking about shooting something, and they were like, "Yeah, can we do it on Friday?" And I was like, "No, I can't really do Fridays because I already have an obligation." As some of you guys know, I have Uncensored on Fridays, and they were like, "Oh, that's right, you do your podcast on Friday." And I was like, I didn't even know they knew about it, and I was like, yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, I've seen it a few times, or I've seen clips or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." That's kind of tough that my clients are checking out my podcast. So, there are certain things that I feel like if we did behind Zoom would be just easier. And it'd be, I could then that way I could be fully transparent with you guys on things. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, I see a few of you guys are down with it. I'm gonna put something in CFA Connect, and what we may do is just do that. That way I can also just like go live and we don't have to make this like a like a show with like a deal, because there is certain things to you know to YouTube and the algorithm with thumbnails and all that stuff that would just be easier not to have to worry about it. So um yeah, it'd be good. um Sorry, I don't know what that is about, but sorry, I don't know how to help with that. I don't know how to help with Instagram stuff. All right. So what I'll do is I'll leave the floor open for some last minute questions. It has been almost an hour. Our goal is always to do this for an hour. At least that's my goal this year, was to go live on Mondays for an hour and answer questions and try to help out as many filmmakers and creators as I can. So let me know if you guys have any last minute questions. Because if not, then we will wrap this thing up, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of your Monday and you guys have been, successful. I know I asked this last week because it was the last Monday of January, but as we walk into February, what goals are y'all's New Year's resolutions still? Are they still riding? Are you guys still doing good? Um, Let me know. Let me know. We're all here to hold each other accountable. I'll be honest, I almost failed mine. I almost did not go live today. And I honestly, let me see. Who was it? Somebody DM'd me, actually. I want to give some credit real quick. Somebody DM'd me on Instagram and asked me if we were still going live today. And without that DM, it might not have happened. um, oh my goodness. I think oh, Will just actually DM'd me on Instagram. Oh, Charles. Charles DM'd me. Charles in Miami. He DM'd me and said, "Hey, are we still going live today for the Business Monday?" That little bit of hope kept us alive today. So, if you guys know anybody who's still currently creating, do me a favor. Reach out to them, give them a little bit of love, give them a little bit of hope. If you guys don't have anybody or you haven't talked to anybody who is a creative, go ahead and sign up for the Creative Fam Connect. Link is in the description, and go hit them up and just give somebody some feedback. Give somebody some positivity today, because the consistency is so important. Uh, let's see. Will says, "We getting there." Let me pull it up on the deal. Will says, "We're getting there. Been focused way too much on YouTube. Still got to find balance. Bit off more than I can chew with brands and stuff on YouTube. the next 2 months, but we'll make it happen. Yeah, been there. Sorry, like I feel for you, Will, because I know exactly what that feels like. Like where you say yes to too many products, or you just start saying yes because you expect a few of them to fall through, but then they all work out, so then your plate is full. Uh, that's yeah, that definitely could be tough. Uh, make a schedule. You'll be good. I got faith in you, Will. And then Chauncey says, I'm not consistent, but I'm trying. Look, that's it. As long as you're trying, you're consistently trying. So that's good. Hey, and we're here to reset. It's a new month. It's only 3 days into February. Just just keep it rocking. And Rickland says, yeah, I'm a roll. Close my numbers on weddings I wanted to book last month. Starting working on my passion projects for February. There you go, bro. So good, so good. Yes, it is a learning experience. Preston says YouTube goals equals getting there. Gym goals, been solid. Nice. And then Will says creating some dope stuff. So yeah, really, really excited. Super excited for you guys. Jarrell is in the building. Shout out to Jarrell. But yeah, guys, it's the start of a new month. First Monday of February has been a blast. And if you guys need anything, you guys have any questions, don't hesitate. Reach out to me over on CFA Connect, linked in the chat. And yeah, looking forward to figuring out how to continue to make these Business Mondays even better. Maybe next week we'll try the Zoom call thing. I think that would be really good. Even if it means less people. If there's a few of you guys who really, really want to do it, then I think we should probably just try to do it that way, so that way it can provide the most value possible. But thank you guys so much for checking out this week's episode of Business Monday. And I will catch you guys next week. I think. Yeah. Last two comments. How do you stay focused and not want to buy every single camera that comes out besides the money? Blind yourself. Just don't look. It's really hard when you have a show called Uncensored and you have to talk about it every single week, but try your best to blind yourself. Or have a friend that you can call who can talk you off the ledge. That's the big one. And then John says, filmmaking goals coming along, feeling like an imposter though. Just, you got it. John, you got it. Because that's what I need to hear when I feel that way. I'm always like, oh, should I be here? Or they're going to realize I don't know what I'm doing. But I'll tell you, John, you got it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this week. I'll see you guys next week. We'll figure out the details. Make sure you go join CFA Connect because that's where I'll share all the information for next week's episode. We'll make it fun. All right, see you guys next week. Peace.